All right, on this episode of Bouts Talking Bouts, we have quite the fight going down on March the 5th. That is BTC 14 Clash, and we have the continuation of the $10,000 bantamweight tournament when Albaraa Atmeh and Ariel Zuniga test skills, and always fun getting to talk to Ariel. How's it going, man?
Good, man. Good. Just here, just finished training, just hanging out, about to go to sleep soon, recover, and get ready again.
Yeah, I love the work ethic, man. Like you're, working the job you have and you're, training thereafter and you're steady on the grind there. So I love seeing it. It's cool to see you in this kind of, tournament and everything like that with the 10 grand. Is that going to be like a bit of a big game changer kind of situation for you getting to the finals and, targeting that prize there?
Yeah, well, for me, it's more than just the money. People will notice me for the work ethic that I do and the way that I fight. And just pretty much to get more fans. The money is just secondary. I'm going to use it for my family because, I just want to go in there and perform, man. And it's nice. It's a nice little bonus.
Yeah, well,
I'm going to use it to go take my family to go visit Nicaragua because they've never been there, my kids. And that's what I'm fighting for right now.
Oh, that's really awesome to hear. I didn't know that's what you kind of intended to use the money for there. That's an awesome sort of thing there. So, like, you'd be taking the fam out and, having some time in Nicaragua there, like checking out some sites and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to go take them out there to the lakes and everything and experience what I experienced as a kid. Because by this age, I've had already visited there, but they haven't had an opportunity yet. So I'm going to take all three of them and just go have a blast.
Yeah, well, that sounds awesome, man. Hopefully that can happen sooner than later. It seems like a lot of the travel restriction stuff is kind of fallen by the wayside, too. So it seems like that'll be an easier kind of thing for you to be able to do, I would think.
Yeah, man, I don't care. I want to find a way. I got to take them.
Yeah, no doubt, man. But I loved being there for the last fight, just getting to see the, reaction thereafter and stuff like that. It seemed like you had some of the Coworkers out there and just like a general, fervor among the fans. Like they seemed just electric, even people who didn't directly know you in that sense. Like, what did that moment feel like? Is it something you can even put into words, just like, coming out with a victory like that and the reaction after?
Oh man, that made me emotional. I remember I was trying to cry, but I didn't have anything left inside of me. Like I think I had no water left.
Yeah.
And it was overwhelming because I had won and I felt like the brink of death almost. And it's like I clawed my way out and I knew that I had it in me because I hadn't been there in I don't remember how long it's been since my fight with Tishay. And I felt happy to be in there. You know what I mean? And then for the 2 rounds, the guy started working me. I had my talk with Bazooka Joe Valtellini in the 3rd round, and he told me and he reminded me why I was there and how I'm one of the few guys that's still doing my job and still training and pushing for this. And he reminded me why I was there, and then so I went out there and I finished. So it's from the motivation and just my determination and my will that I have, like I knew that I could do it. You know what I mean? So I was just overwhelmed with what I could do.
Yeah, well, you touched on like the T-shape bout and stuff like that. I mean, that was something that took place even pre-pandemic there. So getting back out there and also with the fans in attendance and everything like that. Yeah, I have to imagine it was a really comforting sort of feeling. It seems like you're very at home in the cage and that's kind of your, happy place as it were.
Yeah, pretty much. Because you always kind of have those nerves before you get in. But my nerves are regressing each time with each fight. And I get pretty much comfortable as soon as I get inside that cage. The door locks behind me and it's time to work.
Yeah, it's really cool that...
It's like the end of all the anticipation. And then once you're in there, it's like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the anecdote with Joseph Valtellini in the corner there. I mean, it seems like the training at Bazooka Joe's was a big one the last time we were talking there, but I love that it extends beyond even like a technique level, like just someone who's really been there and a lot of high level fights and those kind of moments, just says exactly what he needs to. And yeah, the result manifested thereafter. It must be cool to have that level of, high level international experience in your corner.
Yeah, it was crazy. I felt like pretty much like a Mortal Kombat character. My 2 coaches had the controllers, and they're telling me what to do. like they're great quartermanship, man. Like with Joe and Marcus Kumala, my grappling coach, they pretty much were yelling out everything that I needed to do.
Yeah, and it seems like your jiu-jitsu coach or your grappling coach very much understands like the MMA related grappling components. Like it seems like it transfers well to a framework that also involves striking. So it seems like the jiu-jitsu works in that realm quite well.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We worked a lot together, and he showed me a lot of things to think about, and how to move, and what to be wary of, and it's really improved my game. I think I did more jiu-jitsu in that fight than I do like in a whole entire class.
I was gonna say it paid dividends though for sure, and just I mean you kind of touched on it a bit earlier, and just the nature of how the fight played out there. Just like what do you take away from a performance like that? Because like you said, it seemed like the first two rounds largely in the favor of Harley King for the most part, but just able to really dig down deep. Like I imagine you learn a lot about yourself from a performance like that.
Yeah, I know that I can finish on all rounds. That's what I pretty much figured. And when I stick to a game plan, things work out. And I just know that when I'm backed up, that I might get stronger when I'm on my back heel. And when push comes to shove, if somebody's trying to kill me, I won't let them, pretty much.
Yeah, and just this upcoming fight here, Albaraa Atmeh, an individual who seems to really apply that forward pressure in a certain sense too. Are you expecting a similar fight in as far as like just that maybe being on the back foot, like fighting back, kind of counteracting the forward pressure? Do you see certain similarities with this next matchup, or maybe not so much?
Yeah, I could see that because he's a good striker, and he's going to start testing me. I'm going to be testing him. So I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth. And a lot of testing each other, pretty much.
Yeah, and I was going to say, like, he's had a couple fights at this point. Like, have you been able to, check out much of what he's been doing? Like, did you catch his last fight on the card you were also on, or maybe not so much because you were fighting? Or
yeah, I seen that one, and I seen the one prior to that, his debut. Yeah, I've seen footage on him.
Yeah, and what are your thoughts on like the main skills he brings to the table? Is like Bazooka Joe and some of the guys over there mostly doing the nitty gritty tape study, or are you really like also breaking down the, I guess, stylistic traits of Albaraa Atmeh leading into this one?
Yeah, I've been doing study, and they've been doing studying as well. We sit down, we talk, have game plans, and just look at it analytically, see what we can do from what he does and from what I can do. And then we made our game plan off of that.
Yeah, and I feel like I know the answer to this, but just thought to ask all the same. Like, is there any level of following along the other side of the bracket there? I mean, ultimately going to be on the same card there, Izzadine Atma and Vinny Diaz. Like, is there any level of examining that matchup, or kind of just squarely focus on your own, whoever wins that other fight, then focus thereafter?
I'm pretty much focusing on my own thing, and then I worry for the next one. Just improve in all areas that I'm at, and pretty much just try to be the best version of myself.
Yeah, it's so cool. I mean, it seems like it's a very expressive kind of medium for you, getting out there and fighting and stuff like that. It seems like a spiritual thing from some of the other aspects you've talked about. But I'm kind of curious, like, do you look at MMA fighting as like a form of artistic expression, or is it more of like an athletic-minded endeavor for you?
I think it's like an art, to be honest. I do believe in it because there's so much things that you mix in, and you have to know how to blend everything together. You pretty much like, that term that people are one-dimensional, or what have you, like that. So the thing is that I don't think I'm one-dimensional or at all in that term, because I try to blend everything together. And if you watch guys, when the really good guys up in the higher levels, you see how they blend the wrestling and the grappling with the jiu-jitsu, and they apply pressure using, for example, wrestling pressure to set up their strikes. It's crazy because there's a lot of things that are unexpected. You see things like, like Mighty Mouse throwing the guy up, it looks like a German suplex, turns it into an armbar. That's artistic. You know what I mean? So like, I think it's like painting, like a painting. You know what I mean? Because you're watching a moving painting. with that, especially with those high level guys with crisp technique and everything. Some guys, you see them, they fight for a picture and they land the perfect punch or the perfect kick. So I do think of it as a very artistic thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm kind of wondering, just because we touched on it a little bit, like the construction work you've been able to do and stuff like that. What was the next day at the job site like? Were you getting like high fives aplenty? Were like the lads all fired up? What was that like?
Oh yeah, everybody was happy, man. I'm the foreman there, and like they can't have the foreman lose. I remember my very first amateur fight. I was working, and then this one guy, I told him I'm going to go fight on the weekend. And he told me, "Okay, good. If you lose, don't come back." So I didn't come back until Tuesday, and he was worried. I thought you lost, man. I was like, "Nah, I just need an extra day off."
Yeah, I love that kind of camaraderie. Is there going to be a similar thing where some of the co-workers are going to be heading out to this next one here, or London a little bit out of the way? Like, what's the dynamic there?
I think some guys are going to show up. I had one guy I get really along with show up. There was a coworker there, and there were some other people I didn't have opportunities to see because I guess you couldn't run out to the crowd or nothing due to COVID. So it was a little bit hard to find some people that I knew came. But I know that some more people from my job site are going to come.
Yeah, that was a bit of a curious kind of dynamic there, because I think I saw you after the fight too, but I had like my mask on, and I don't think like you clicked in that it was me necessarily.
I didn't recognize you for a minute, because that's the thing with the masks. Like you don't recognize people's faces, and especially since I was hyped up and everything, I just I didn't clue in until you told me it was you. I was like, oh, hey, what's up, man?
No, but I even noticed that with like other people too. It's just funny how, I mean, yeah, whatever. I understand the dynamics there. You gotta, put that out there to have the event, I suppose. But it was just curious in the sense of, yeah, just how many people didn't necessarily like know it was me. Because that happened like even beyond my interaction with you. Like I would say hi to certain people, and I'm like, oh, they definitely don't know that it's me just based on their reaction.
Yeah, it's pretty much. Yeah, I didn't know it was you until you told me it was you.
Yeah, it's just crazy how much of a game changer it is, just covering up that, bottom part of the face there and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been great getting to talk to you, man. I always love chopping it up ahead of these fights, but I also want to be mindful of what's a very busy schedule you keep. So is there anything you want to maybe add as a parting thought as we're wrapping things up, Ariel?
Just for everybody to pretty much buy the pay-per-view and watch me fight, bro. Watch it. It's going to be a good one. Everybody is going to bang each other up.
Oh, it's an incredible fight, and just incredible to follow along with the pair of semifinal bouts we have here in this bantamweight tournament. I think that's a great look, and I think on paper this very much has the potential to be fight of the night for sure. Ariel Zuniga, Albaraa Atmeh. If you're not in the London, Ontario area on March 5th, make sure you're copping the BTC 14 pay-per-view. And yeah, to reiterate, always fun getting to talk, man. Appreciate you making the time, and yeah, just looking forward to checking out the fight there.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.